Look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? Yo. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's choking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over, loud. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes rabbit. He choke. He's so mad, but he won't give up. Daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his whole back to these ropes. It don't matter, he's dope. He knows that, but he's broke. He's so stacked that he knows when he goes back to this mobile home, that's when it's back to the lab again, yo. This old rhapsody better go back to this moment and hope it don't pass him.
Listen, we can talk about the flag, but let's talk about... Wait.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trending in the AM right here on DSM Media, live as always every morning on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube right here at 8:30 a.m. every day. Sorry, just waking up here this morning. Slow start of the mind this morning. We're brought to you here by 99jersey.com. Make sure you check them out, 99jersey.com. Use promo code TRENDING at checkout, 15% off. Great jerseys on their website. And, of course, check them out and enjoy. Yeah, dude, I'm totally lost this morning. I got to reset. Hey, welcome to Trending in the AM. Yes, Aaron, morning show this today. Yes, we are 1-1 against your Mets today. That is right. Let's go, faithful fanatics. That's right. Phillies lost last night to the Mets 2-0. We're going to recap that game right away. Talk a little bit about some different things. I got to start off on a somber note. That's probably what's got me kind of all perplexed right now. Yesterday, we lost a legend in comedy yesterday, Gilbert Gottfried. Very sad. And in the last year, we've lost 4 legends of comedy. Norm Macdonald, Gilbert Gottfried, Bob Saget, and Louis Anderson. So that kind of got me a little thinking there. And then I realized today was April 13th, and today is actually the 13th anniversary of the loss of the voice of the Phillies, Harry Kalas. And I was just trying to think about Harry Kalas and what he meant. And, yeah, we're going to get to the Phillies in a second. But first, I got to think about, Harry Kalas. And I put it into my computer, April 12th, 2009, the last game that Harry Kalas got to call before his sudden passing. And it was a Phillies game against the Rockies. And the Phillies already at that point, it was 2009, they beat the Rockies 7-5 that night. And, I mean, the lineup, I'm looking at it here. Jimmy Rollins led off, Victorino, Utley, Howard Worth, Ibanez. They just brought back, Chris Coase was the backup catcher at the time, brought back so many fond memories of that 08 run, 09, 10, 11. And I'm so happy that Harry Kalas got to call the World Series victory for the Phillies. But just looking at that lineup that night, comparing it to now, how crazy good that offense was then, and trying to compare it to how crazy good, we had some really cold bats last night. Hey, Matt Stairs hit a home run. Absolutely. That's I was going to bring that up. I mean, they just got to think that offense was so good, and this Phillies offense can be so good this year. Now, we're getting off to a slow start. I mean, I'm looking at the box score of that game. That was game 6 of the season. Utley had his first home run that night. Matt Stairs did. Ibanez already had 5 RBIs. Jason Worth already had 6 RBIs. Utley already had 5 RBIs. I don't know if anybody on this team currently has, Hoskins has got 4 RBIs, and Castellanos has 3. And that's it to start it. This offense is probably better than that offense. So when we start talking this today and tomorrow about the slow start to the Phillies, harken back this offense is better on paper than the 2009 Phillies offense probably. So, be patient and worry. But, man, just looking back at that 2009 in his last game, and as my man is saying here, Matt Stairs hit the last home run that he called. No surprise, because Matt Stairs always had, the ability to come up clutch in the right moments there with big home runs, big pinch hit home runs there. Chan-Ho Park was our starter. I kind of forgot Chan-Ho Park was even a Philly for a little while there. Kind of crazy. Chad Durbin came in relief in that game. Scott Air, Condrey, Madsen, Lidge. I mean, just brings back a lot of memories, and I'm not sure why I wanted to start the show with such a somber thought like that. But Harry Kalas, man, I grew up with that guy, and he was the voice of the Phillies, and I don't know how, the Guilford Godfrey passing made me think of Harry Kalas, but it all kind of linked together, and kind of brought some interesting memories back into my head there. So again, Harry Kalas, he was the greatest, and I remember back, and I harken back to after he passed away, and I'm thinking, who's going to take over for Harry Kalas? Who was going to fill that void? And Tom McCarthy took over the full-time role, and I wasn't sure. Again, linking, all these little 6 degrees of separation, linking it to kind of like Mark Zumoff retiring, Kate Scott taking over, and everybody's kind of harsh on her because she's replacing a legend. Tom McCarthy was kind of in the same boat after he took over full time for Harry Kalas. People were really against Tom McCarthy as the voice of the Phillies, even me, and I wasn't a fan of him. I wasn't happy. But man, I couldn't imagine Phillies games now being called without Tom McCarthy. So linking it to the Kate Scott taking up for Zumoff. I know she's not a Philadelphian. Tom McCarthy really isn't either. Hell, Harry Kalas wasn't a Philadelphian at first. Harry Kalas, I believe, was from Houston. I think that's where, or at least that's where he called games before coming to Philly. And it takes time to really ingrain yourself to the fans and to the city. So let's give Kate Scott some time, just like we gave Tom McCarthy some time. So it's really weird little, group of conversation here and topics that I'm kind of rambling on about here. But memories bring up different topics, and memories bring up different thought processes. So, again, I miss Harry Kalas' voice all the time. But Tom McCarthy has done a great job filling in for him, and it's crazy to think back. This day always pops up on my memory feed on Facebook because I'm always so caught off guard that it's been so long since we've lost the voice of the Phillies, Harry Kalas. And again, like I said, the whole point of that was brought up because we lost Gilbert Godfrey. We lost up so many. Yeah, Tom McCarthy did Mets games for a while too. Yeah, Tom McCarthy does football for Westwood One. He does college basketball games. I mean, Tom McCarthy is a professional announcer. We just didn't take from him at first, Aaron, because he was replacing Harry Kalas. That's all. When you replace a legend, you kind of, you have to put the work in to earn the respect of the fans. And Tom McCarthy did that over time. It wasn't like one thing he did. I think fans just eventually got used to him and got used to the fact that, and accepted the fact that he was pretty damn good at his job. And we've started to accept him now for that. On the flip side of it, same thing, linking it to Kate Scott with the Sixers. I think she did a pretty darn good job considering her first season replacing Mark Zumoff, who had been here for 30, 40 years. It was definitely, she deserves more credit than she's due. And I think over time, as long as she stays here and is given the time and doesn't take another job elsewhere. I mean, I think I saw her post on Twitter that she was at the PA DMV getting her driver's license changed to a PA driver's license. So that's a step in the right direction that she might be around for a little while. So I think if we give her enough time and give her and Ala Abdunabi more time together to gel, I think we'll grow to like them as a pair. No one will replace Mark Zumoff or be Mark Zumoff, but we got to give her time because, like I said, we were ready to run Tom McCarthy right out of town after losing Harry and him taking over full time. He's done a pretty damn good job. All right, let's get to last night's Phillies game. Phillies lose to the Mets 2-0. And I kind of called this yesterday on the morning show. Everybody was kind of concerned. Everybody was kind of worried that today's game against Max Scherzer was going to be the problem game in this series, the game where the bats were silent. And I said, hold on a second. I said, no. I said, guys, watch out. McGill is not a bad pitcher. He's young, inexperienced, doesn't have a lot of time, but Ari pitched well earlier this year. This was the game that I was worried about the most in this series. McGill pitching, our offense has not been, stellar to say the least so far. Zack Wheeler, hadn't pitched a single, major league batter in spring training, pitched in some side games and maybe an A-ball game or something like that. I don't even know. He didn't have an official stat in spring training. This game had disaster written all over it. And first and foremost, got to come out and just give props to Zack Wheeler. Went out there through 65 pitches in 4 2/3 innings, gave up 1 run, the home run to Nimmo in the 5th inning. So he went 4 innings, shutout ball, and just in that 5th inning, he gave up a run. And that's it. He struck out 3. He had life on his fastball. His pitches were moving. He didn't strike out a hell of a lot of batters, but the guy pitched really damn well. And I'm really impressed, really happy. I know he had some arm fatigue or arm soreness to start this, start training camp. Even before he got to camp, people were talking about his arm and what kind of a season he's going to have, how tired his arm is. Pitched a lot of innings last year, and he's had some injury histories in the past with the Mets. And, there's a lot of concerns there. But he came out last night and pitched fantastic, 4 2/3 inning. And again, the bullpen. Who would thought that, 5 games into this season, we'd be talking about pitching and the bullpen as what's keeping this team afloat so far. I mean, another game, yesterday it was Nelson, or 2 nights ago it was Nelson going, a boatload of innings and only giving up 1 run. Last night it was Chris Sanchez, went 2 2/3, only gave up the 1 run. What was it, in the 8th inning, I believe it was? Yeah, in the 8th inning, he gave up 1 run in the 8th inning. That's it. Walked a couple batters, but struck out a couple too. Brogdon, a shutdown, 2/3 of an inning. Jesus Familia, his second outing of the year where he did not give up a run. Because of the lockout, Wheeler wasn't allowed to tell the Phillies his shoulder hurt. No contact. Yeah, but he pitched pretty damn well last year, even after the lockout. Aaron. So I mean, he was second. When did he get pizza? Who said anything about you getting pizza? You got to come out to get the pizza first. He pitched just fine last year. So the shoulder wasn't a concern last year. I wasn't concerned until the reports came about his shoulder this year. I was just more concerned about fatigue after the fact that he pitched so many innings last year. But let's be honest. I mean, that was a hell of a performance from a guy that hadn't faced live professional batters yet this year. And the pitching has done a damn good job so far. Damn good job. I've got the team statistics up here so far, and I know it's early. It's only 5 games into the season, but you look at it. Aaron Nola and Kyle Gibson pitched really well in their games. I know Aaron Nola gave some runs late in the game. He was just pulled probably a tick too soon. Zach Eflin, who I've got still a lot of question marks in. He had an up and down outing, but didn't give up any runs. You got Nick Nelson, who's pitched really well. Ranger Suarez pitched okay. Sanchez, really good last night. Falters pitched okay out of the bullpen so far. Dominguez, lights out of the bullpen. Corey Knebel, lights out of the bullpen. Familia, 2 lights out innings so far. Brad Hand, 2 lights out performances so far. Even Brogdon, I don't think Brogdon's given up a run yet in his 2 appearances. No, he has not. So it's really, really nice. Yeah, them Nets. Yeah, we'll get to the Nets. Philly. You bring up the Nets, I'm going to do it right now. I had something else on the screen ready to share. We're going to take that shared screen off. We're going to put something else, Philly, up here on the screen. Dude, can we just have Ben Simmons play a game so we don't have to see him on the bench dressed like this anymore? I don't know what this is. It's like the freaking what's the Oscar the Grouch outfit going on here? I don't know what that. These are shorts too, by the way. The picture kind of cuts it off. How can you be excited about your Nets when you got a guy sitting on your bench looking like this? Come on. We just need him to play so we don't see him dressed like this anymore. And to address the bench, we'll get back to the Phillies in a second. Since Philly's here, the Nets, all these reports about double Thinman. That's a great one. Absolutely, man. What the hell is this? One of the reports that the Nets are pushing him hard in practice, and he's walking with all this confidence, and he thinks he's MJ now. Dude, he don't think he's nothing. Come on now. If you guys are getting hyped about Ben Simmons, if you're getting hyped about his workout videos and him knocking down shots in practice, you must not have paid much attention to the Sixers, because let me tell you something. We've been watching that for a long time. And yeah, don't get excited about Ben Simmons and his practice routine, guys. Don't do it at all. All right, I still got 6 basketball stuff. Yeah, he's supposed to play round 1. Good, I guess. I don't care. Actually hurts you guys probably, throwing a guy like Ben Simmons out there after not playing 1 game. I can't see that working out. We'll get back to basketball because I got Sixers talk, and I got the NBA schedule up here for tonight's round. Make some predictions on the games tonight and how it just you need him to play for his defense. Absolutely. That's the one thing that Sixers are lacking right now. Whether we have to play the Bucks in the second round, or even the Raptors in the first round, or if we ever have to play the Nets in the playoffs, having a guy like him to guard Giannis or KD or even Patrick Siakam, Pascal Siakam in Toronto, you miss his length on defense for sure. So he would definitely help you guys in Boston. I mean, he'd be locking down Jason Tatum if you guys when you guys play Boston. Tatum, even Jaylen Brown a little bit. So yeah, I appreciate it, brother. One of these days, you're going to have to take a day off from work and pop on in the morning with me there. Or maybe I'll pre-record an episode to get you on here, especially if the Sixers meet the Nets in the playoffs. All right, back to the Phillies game last night, because I kind of got sidetracked a little bit there because we always got our Nets man checking in, on the show. So I had that picture of Ben Simmons save just in case he was tuning in there, ready to embarrass, what that boy looks like. But back to the Phillies game here for a second. For more than a second. So we're talking about how the pitching is doing really well. And the Mets pitching last night pitched really well too, obviously. McGill, 5 1/3 shutout innings. Well, the whole team pitched shutout ball because we couldn't hit last night. And it seems to be the recurring trend that the Phillies are just not hitting the ball. We talk about the stout offense, and other than game 1 of the season, there's been not much offense comparing it to that Phillies game, the last game that Harry Cowles called. And 6 games into the season, you had guys with 6 RBIs, 5 RBIs already. Right now, this Phillies team is just not hitting. Harper and Schwarber are batting a 111 each. I mean, that's not good. You got Didi hit 200, which you expect him to struggle. Matt Vierling hasn't gotten a hit yet. Bryson Stott has 2 hits on the season so far. Camargo got a couple hits, but why isn't this team hitting? First off, some of them are getting off to slow starts. Bryce Harper has gotten off to slow starts in the first week or 2 of the season before. I know Jason Voorhees, my partner, has brought that up a few times. He doesn't have slow Aprils per se, but he does have slow first 4, 5, 6 games getting into a rhythm. We didn't think that would happen with the way he was tearing the cover off the ball in spring training, but it is still a common thread with Bryce Harper. So I'm not concerned about them. What I'm concerned offensively with this team is still Joe Girardi and his lineup construction. I'm looking at last night, and the top 6 is basically what it's going to be almost every single game. Schwarber, JT. JT's been in the 2-hole other than the 1 game he didn't start where Stubbs started. But JT's going to start 120, 130 games probably. So he's going to be in that 2-hole. You had Harper DHing last night, giving his elbow a night off. And I know he doesn't like the DH. He likes to be in that field every day. But it was good to have that option to throw Castellanos in right field. And then Hoskins 5 and Didi 6. That's the core crux of your top 6-year lineup, which I'm not even. I mean, we could stop at Hoskins at 5 because you got Didi at 6 playing shortstop last night. Then you got Bryson Stott playing second base last night. What are we trying to do to Bryson Stott, people? Are we trying to ruin this kid before he even gets started? He's now played shortstop, second, and third base. Guys, he's a shortstop. Maybe you want to throw him at third base. That's fine. You gave him 5. You gave him 1 game at second base in spring training, and he did not look comfortable last night. I believe he kind of had a little bit of a trouble there on that double play in the 8th inning, which then followed up. Was Marte scored on a Lindor hit, or did Lindor score on a Marte hit? What was it? It was Lindor singled and Marte scored. Doesn't happen. If you have, Gene Segura is your second baseman, should be out there every day at second base. If you're going to rotate Stott and Alec Bohm and Camargo in the lineup, it's got to be with Didi. We know what Didi is. Didi's a 200 to 210 hitter, provides some pop. He's a decent shortstop, not great, not bad. Dude, Bryson Stott, you got to be playing him every day. But you can't be pulling Scott Kingery stuff and playing him all over the field. It's going to affect his swing. It's going to affect his offense, which is going to affect his confidence potentially. Maybe, maybe not. We'll get into Alec Bohm in a second here. But come on, guys. You can't have Bryson Stott every other day playing a different position. You just got to put him in a spot, whether it's second, whether it's short, or whether it's third. Hell, if you want him at second, that's fine, but you better play him there every day. The kid doesn't know how to play second base yet. And you're taking Gene Segura, who's one of your best hitters in your lineup, out of it to put him at second. I mean, what are we doing here, Joe? I'm going to call you Joe, because you're not Coach Girardi. You're Joe, because you're writing your lineup like you're writing a little league lineup. You're just trying to get everybody a chance to play. Doesn't matter where you throw them. Everybody plays every position. No. That's not the way it works. That's not the way it works in the majors. It should have been last night if you were going to play DD. It should have been Stott at third base, or DD. Yeah, or you give DD the blow and you play Stott at shortstop. That's what it is. Camargo, I know everybody wants to get Camargo, at bats, and that's fine. Man, I'm not putting him at third base. I'm putting Stott there. I would have put Bohm in last night, and I know Alec Bohm, struggled in the field the night before. The 3 errors in the first 3 innings, but his bat is still not being effective. And that's the hope with Bryson Stott, that they're moving him all over the lineup and playing him, then giving him days off and stuff like that. But the hope is that it doesn't affect his bat. We'll see. I mean, it's a very, very, very small sample size. But so far, he's only got 2 hits and 10 at bats. Bryson Stott, a double and a single. We'll see whether it affects him or not. But so far, it hasn't affected Alec Bohm, playing and the not playing, the bad defense and stuff like that. I would have found a way if I was Joe Girardi last night. I know you gave Bryce Harper the DH spot, and you wanted to give his arm a rest. I know he doesn't want to play center field. I know he's only played center field a few times early in his career, but I would have played Bryce Harper in center field last night, not Simon. What's his name here? How do we even say it? I got to actually see it so I can say Muzziotti, a Venezuelan that has a very Italian name. No idea who the kid is. I tried to do some digging and research on the kid before the show. Barely could find any information, but you threw him out there, in center field, because Matt Vierling's struggling massively, offensively and defensively. I did say I didn't want him as my center fielder, Matt Vierling, and he's on the lineup. Simon's in the road, in the dugout and on the team right now because of Mickey Moniak's injury. And obviously, early on, as soon as Mickey Moniak's healthy and gets his rehab done, he'll be back out there because Vierling and Simon are not. I'm just going to call him Simon because I don't want to butcher his name anymore. Are obviously struggling. So the spots there. Hell, at this point, Odubel Herrera was sent to a rehab assignment. Dude, don't be surprised if he's ready that the Simon kid sent back down. Odubel's back in the dugout, and honestly, with the way Vierling's playing, Odubel will be in the lineup as soon as he's available to play. It's unfortunate, it's a shame. I think we know who Odubel is. Not that great of a baseball player, but he probably will put out a better performance than what we're getting from center field. But anyway, till last night, I would have tried. I know it's a crazy thing. I would have put Harper in center field, left Nick in right, Kyle in left field there, and then that way you could have put Alec Bohm at the DH, keep his bat fresh, or you put Alec Bohm at third, Camargo at second, Stott at third base. I don't know. I would have made sure to keep the confidence up on a young kid. I would have gotten Alec Bohm into the starting lineup somehow. I believe in that positive reinforcement like that to an extent. And on the side note, Alec Bohm, no surprise. And we talked about it yesterday. Alec Bohm and how he and how good he looked, or not how good he looked, how good he performed after the game by admitting to his mistake. He said, "I effing hate this place." He admitted to it. He didn't try to beat around the bush. He's like, dude, heat of the moment. Philadelphia gets a bad rap of being bad fans and booing and this and that. But then the kid admitted what was wrong. The kid admitted, he did a complete opposite with Ben Simmons, Carson Wentz, all these guys that, have struggled to handle the Philadelphia fan base and the Philadelphia media. Alec Bohm at 25 years old, just like, heat of the moment. I bleeped up. I said something I shouldn't have. I don't mean it really. And what happens, instead of continuing to boo him, instead of continuing to whatever, the Phillies fans come out last night, and when he came up to pinch hit last night, gave him a standing ovation. And here it is. I just queued it up. I'm going to play it.
28, Alec Bohm.
Listen to that standing ovation he's getting right here. That's a fan base that respects honesty. It's a fan base that respects, admitting to your mistake. That's a fan base that's encouraging him to be better.
Pretty amazing city.
And as Tom McCarthy said, pretty amazing city there. Hold on. Let's bring it back up to the end of the day.
Pretty amazing city.
This is a pretty amazing city. Tom McCarthy said it perfectly. Aaron, exactly. Accountability. We might get a bad rap as Phillies fans, as Sixers fans, as Phillies or Eagles fans, but all we want is accountability. We want our athletes to stand up, admit to their downfalls, admit to being human, because that's what Alec Bohm did on the other night. After the game, he admitted to being human, and being heated in the moment, and having problems. And you know what you get? You get a standing ovation. He got out in that bat. It didn't matter. It was the fact that Alec Bohm handled the situation the right way, and the Philly fans did what they do best, and that shows support for you admitting to that accountability. Accountability is a great word for it right there, Aaron. Absolutely a great word right there. So anyway, yeah, the game didn't go as well. The lineup obviously is all over the place with what Joe Girardi does. And the Mets are a really good team. I said it the other day. The Mets are no pushover team. They're going to be right there with the Phillies and the Braves fighting for this division. And last night, we were able to hold a really stout, Nimmo, Marte, Lindor, Alonso, Robinson Cano made a sighting last night. McNeil, McCann. It's the lineup's pretty stout. And we held them to 3 hits. We out-hit them 6-3. Both teams were just completely shut down last night. Pitching. That was the name of the game last night. That was it. That's what happened, and that's fine. It happens. Will it happen again? Today's gonna be an interesting story, and I'm gonna mess around on Twitter here in the background. I know it's still pretty early, but will the Phillies be able to turn this ship around? Will they be able to turn around? They got a day game today. I don't know if they're calling it a business person special. They got Aaron Nola going back out there. They got Max Scherzer going for the Mets, who Max Scherzer gave up a few runs as well, just like Aaron Nola did in his first start of the season. I don't know. Phillies are favored actually in this game right now. They got minus 1.5, the 115 negative money line, 8.5 on the over/under when you got Nola going up against Scherzer. I'm gonna mess around on the side on the internet here. Let's see. It's still a little early, but Jim Salisbury always gets the hot early lineup look, and no, he still has not. Yeah, still hasn't released any Phillies lineups for today. It's way too early, probably even for a 1:00 game. Nothing yet on the Phillies game today. But if I'm the Phillies, I'm going out there. If I'm don't want Nola to embarrass us. Yeah, You do. Yeah, I know you don't. Yeah, I even read it how I saw it. Casey. I read it as don't. But it's a problem. I talked about Aaron Nola in the offseason. Aaron Nola is not 2018 Aaron Nola anymore. I know he pitched really well the first few innings on opening day. Aaron Nola is what he is. He's a 4.42 ERA guy. He's a guy that's going to throw 200 innings, strike out 210 guys. He's going to give up 3 runs a game, 4 runs a game. Sometimes he's going to have a good game. Sometimes he's going to have a really bad game. But he's a 3-4 run game guy. And the Mets have just as much as our offense has been kind of held in check so far this season outside of game 1, the Mets offense has been held in check for the most part. This is a game. Everyone sees Scherzer versus Nola. Offenses that are stout like the Mets and the Phillies don't get held in check for long. I see this game being a high-scoring affair, which is crazy to think when you have Max Scherzer on the bump, when you have Aaron Nola. But Aaron Nola isn't who he used to be. I don't even know if Max Scherzer is. Max Scherzer is still a great pitcher. Guy, at some point in his career, he's going to have to – Father Time's going to have to catch up to him. I'm not sure when or how, but at some point it's going to have to catch up to him, Father Time. How do the Phillies come out and win tonight? Aaron Nola has to pitch well, but it's going to come down to Joe Girardi and how he builds his lineup today against Max Scherzer. You got Max Scherzer, so you're going to have your top of your lineup. It's going to be, Schwarber, JT, Harper, Castellanos. Actually, JT, night game, day game, that's typically when you give a catcher a day off. Maybe they find a way to make him the DH JT tonight. If you do that, then I don't know what you do with the out. Maybe today's the day you play Bryce Harper in center field. Hell, throw Kyle Schwarber in center field, Castellanos in left, Bryce Harper in center, or in right field. Somehow they could figure that out. I don't know if they can, but why not give it a shot? Kyle Schwarber, surprisingly, through 5 games, has played really good. He's played left field in all but one. He DH'd 1 game. Castellanos has been the mainstay at DH. Surprisingly, Kyle Schwarber's played some really solid defense. He gets after the balls. He moves pretty well for a big guy out there in left field. And I don't know the analytical stats and stuff like that. I would bet what's the runs cost stat or whatever it is, the analytics stat that I don't follow analytic stats, would say he's not costing the team any runs at this point early in the season, a small sample size. He's playing really good defense out there. So I'm pretty impressed there. Can you find a way to get all three mashers into outfield in one game so JT gets DH? I don't know. Are the Phillies off to? No, the Phillies play tomorrow too. So you gotta think either today or tomorrow JT gets a break. But I'd rather him play against Scherzer today. So you roll out a lineup of Schwarber, JT, obviously Harper and Castellanos and Hoskins, your top five. And then with Scherzer, I don't know what his numbers are against him, but I'm probably running out Didi at short. I'm playing. Maybe I go. Well, definitely putting Segura out there at second. So maybe I go Stott at short. Maybe I go Didi because of the veteran against a better pitcher. Stott gets the break today, and I'm putting Alec Bohm back out there at third base today. And that's how I'm running the lineup. Absolutely need Segura. Segura to me would never get. I mean, Segura played 155 games, 160 games. Segura gets a lot of bad rap, for some of his boneheaded mistakes. But the guy hits the baseball. He plays solid, not great, but not that bad defense. Segura's a glue guy that you just need in the lineup all the time. So Segura's playing every day to me. The fact that they played Stott at KC at second base last night, it blew my mind. It's just not the way I would do it. Do they win today? I don't know. It's can they outslug the Mets today? Because, I said it yesterday. I'm going to say it again. Today's the day where we're going to see the offensive outbursts, but for both teams. So we're going to see some hiccups from pitching today. We'll see. I'm not sure how to pull it up, but I'm sure Aaron Nola's given up some clunkers to the Mets in the past as well. But let's see. Let's see what happens. I wish this show was like an hour later in the day because I guarantee by 9:30, 10 o'clock the lineups are out. And I would love to go over what they have today, but they don't. So, that's that. But yeah, tough loss last night. Another silent at-bat kind of game or bat game there. Hopefully we break out of it tonight against the Mets or today against the Mets. It's a 1 o'clock game. I love 1 o'clock games because it's right after the lunch rush at the pizza shop. Put it on the TV, afternoon work. I can watch the game as I'm working, and then the game's over. So love the afternoon games. So yeah, that's where we got for that. We're going to take a quick pause in the show here, pay a quick bill, and then we'll be right back with the second half of the show. What's up, everybody? Phil Stiefel here. Trending in the AM. Look at this site right here, 99jersey.com. Proud supporter of all Trending in the AM shows. Make sure you check them out. Like I said, 99jersey.com. They have the best jerseys of all your favorite athletes from high school, college, movies, TV shows. You got the Kobe Bryant, Lower Merion, the Charlie Conway, Mighty Ducks. Everybody always asks where I got my Sugar Shane Falco jersey back there from the Replacements movie. 99jersey.com. I mean, Magic Johnson, Michigan State, Lonzo Ball, Jalen Rose, you name it, Russell Westbrook, you name it, they've got it on this site. Make sure you check them out, 99jersey.com. Use promo code TRENDING at checkout. It gets you 15% off right away. 99jersey.com, promo code TRENDING. Yo, support the podcast that brings you the heat every single morning. And we're back here on Trending in the AM. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. Thanks for tuning in today. Greatly appreciate it. We got more to go here today. I had something else queued up, and I just freaking screwed it up and deleted it. There was a hit batter last night in a baseball game. I just thought it was hilarious. Man, it was in the Braves game, wasn't it? Man, why can't I find it now? I had it all queued up. Anyway, that's a shame. I had a funny video for you guys to see. Unfortunately, I lost it. So, Braves, Nationals. See if I can find it real quick here. If I can find it. If not, oh well. Yeah, no. Ah, there. I did find it really quickly. Absolutely. A little fun. Let's have a little fun this morning. Laughing at this. Let's grade it. Whether it should be Oscar nominated or not. Let's pause this right there. Share the screen nice and big here. All right, so this is in the Nationals-Braves game. Obviously, the Braves were blowing out the Nationals last night, 14-3. I don't know who this pitcher is, Strange Gordon. He's a second baseman for the team. I've never heard of the guy. But look at this. Oh, 52-mile-an-hour curveball. Look at him fall down. Oh, man. Look at it. Look at this again. Grade that acting performance for me. Is that Oscar-worthy right there? I don't know. Oh, he might. Whoever the batter was there, Darnode. I didn't even know he was. I forgot about him there. Yeah, Darno. Man, I don't know. I mean, if you're going to take away Will Smith's Oscar, maybe. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that there. If you're going to take away Will Smith's Oscar, maybe give it to him. I mean, it was pretty good acting there on that one there. Yeah. Anyway, I had to have a little fun with that there. It's always crazy when you have a when you throw a positional player into the pitching. I don't like it. I don't like when they do that. You've seen plenty of players hurt their arms doing that. They're not used to it. But that guy was just lobbing 52-mile-an-hour. I don't even know if that was a curveball. That might have been his fastball. I'm not sure. He's a second baseman. Second basemen don't typically have the best arms out there. So yeah, that was that fun little moment right there in that game last night. Thought I've done enough depressing talk today, so I figured I'd bring up something fun there a little bit. All right, so funny thing, I was sitting there and I was thinking, what am I going to talk about the second half of the show since I was running solo today? I'm like, what am I going to talk about? Am I going to talk NBA playoffs? And we're going to dive more into later this week. I'm trying to set up a pretty big guest for tomorrow morning's show, trying to record it tonight and, have it set up because the guy I have tonight, you are actually a fan of the position, not all the time, but I think it throws another nuance into the game. Yeah, I mean, it protects it protects your pitching, staff, your rotation, your bullpen. I've seen teams instead of using a position player, use a starting pitcher in that situation. That's their bullpen day, stuff like that. That's a risk. Burning at your bullpen, that's a risk. I've just seen a few I can't remember them off the top of my head. I've seen a couple position players over the last 10, 15 years get major injuries because when they're out there, instead of what that guy on the second baseman, Strange Gordon, I don't know. He was just lobbing the ball up there, just trying to get outs and all at that point. He wasn't up there trying to fire the ball, but we've seen position players before up there trying to pitch. And that's when they get hurt. So, it's fun. It's funny, especially at that point, because you're basically waving the white flag at that point. But as long as the position player isn't taking it seriously, then I'm okay with it because he lobbed that ball. That obviously didn't hurt him. But you get a positional player up there trying to throw. Not only they can hurt their arm, but they can hurt players too because they're obviously not professional pitchers. They could bean somebody accidentally as well. So yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, thinking about the second half of the show. I'm thinking, what am I going to talk about? We could talk about how the Nets beat the Cavaliers last night. And I think that was pretty much expected. The Cavs put up a good fight. They were down pretty big. They made a comeback in that game. The Clippers lost to the Timberwolves. We can talk about that. I don't know much. But I'm saving most of my basketball talk. I'm trying to lock up a guest to record tonight for tomorrow. No confirmation yet, so waiting till I got confirmation to announce that. But I'm definitely going to talk more basketball as the week progresses here, as we get closer to Saturday's Sixers game. Tonight's games. What do we got tonight? We got Charlotte against in Atlanta. Atlanta will probably win that game. Charlotte's a good team too, so we'll see how that plays out. And then the loser of that will play Cleveland in Cleveland on Friday night. Cleveland, Charlotte, Atlanta. All three of those teams could make that final A spot. It'll be curious to see. But in the Western Conference, San Antonio, New Orleans, I don't think it really matters that game. It doesn't matter who wins that game because I think LA will beat both those teams. But we'll see. So honestly, who takes the A seat in the West? You go up against Phoenix. It's a moot point anyway. So we'll talk NBA later this week as the week goes on. So I'm like, what else am I going to talk about? I got 20 minutes left in the show, and I harken back to yesterday. Started chit chat with my man, Swagman, who I interact with all the time. I've had him on shows before. He's a draft guy. He's a fantasy football guy. He does his things, and he put up a mock draft and he had the Eagles. He just did a first round mock draft, and he did the Eagles getting Kyle Hamilton at 15, safety, probably the best safety in the draft. And I just commented, I'm like, dude, there's no way he's falling to 15. He's like, well, safety's not as valued as a position as it once was. And you don't see a lot of people invest high draft picks in safeties. It's quarterbacks, it's linemen, it's stuff like that. And it got me thinking, when is the NFL draft? I looked, I'm like, holy crap, the NFL draft's 2 weeks from tomorrow. We're 2 weeks away, and I haven't done a mock draft in a while. And I want to run really quickly 2 mock drafts on this show. And I want to run them two different ways. One, I'm just going to run a quick Eagles mock draft, see how it goes. But it's really to see what the computer generated thing does with those first 14 picks before the Eagles pick, because as more interviews happen, as more breakdowns happen, as more pro days and all the different things that happen, teams meet with these guys, the computer generated models start kind of dropping certain guys, bumping some guys up. You start to see different things on where teams are going to go. So it's interesting to more look at what the computer generated model is doing with the first 14 picks. And then we don't even have to do the full 7-round Eagles draft. And then what I want to do is I want to try to come up with a plan. I want to run a first round mock of every team again and see, is there a scenario where I could see 14 teams passing on Kyle Hamilton so they drop to the Philadelphia Eagles? Because I don't see it. I really don't. I can see him dropping to 8, 10, maybe. But that's the most I see. So let me bring my mock draft simulator up here on the screen real quick here. All right, is it up on the screen with you guys? Yes, it is. All right. So we don't even need to run. We'll just click 4 rounds, fast Eagles. Let's draft. And I just want to see, what the order of the first 14 picks is to kind of go over it. We don't even need to worry about the trades right now. So they got Jaguars taking Evan O'Neal, and actually I think that's a great pick right there. You're trying to rebuild an organization. You go out to get the best tackle in the game. Most likely they take Aiden Hutchinson, but that's probably the way it works. But Evan Neal, when you're rebuilding a team, that's the way to go. Aiden Hutchinson going to Detroit. Then Detroit lucks out. Kayvon Thibodeau. I've seen some mocks where he starts to fall, and Kyle Hamilton goes forth. So again, he's not dropping there. The Giants, take a tackle and a wide receiver. Panthers take Malik Willis, which I definitely see the Panthers taking a quarterback. Still create a scenario where Detroit takes a quarterback, but we'll see. Trayvon Walker, Ahmad Sauce Gardner, Charles Cross, Zion Johnson, Jermaine Johnson, Stingley, and Karaftis. So when you get to the Eagles, Jordan Davis available at 15. Wow, Jameis Williams, Kenny Pickett's still there, Matt Carl, Chris Olave. There's a lot of options for the Eagles there. And if it played out like this, I doubt Jordan Davis drops. Because I keep having, what's his name? And he keeps falling even on most people's mocks. Or did he get drafted here? Where's my man? Where's the other defensive tackle? Defensive tackle. Maybe it was Jordan Davis. No, Devontae Wyatt. They've got him dropping all the way now, ranked 37th. I don't know what happened there to him. But he was a guy we were mocking at 15 and 16 and 18 and stuff like that. The Eagles at one point. So I'm not sure. Mama needs safety. So, Casey, I just want to know if you think there's a scenario where Kyle Hamilton drops to the Eagles at 15. And this is what my man Swagman's talking about, and I just don't see it. If we're gonna go pick by pick here in a second, but if this shakes out like this, it's Jordan Davis, no doubt about it. And then you go, this is where I see the Eagles making a trade here with 18. If it plays out this way, because you got 2 quarterbacks, Kenny Pickett and Matt Carl, on the board. If the Saints are going to take a quarterback, which I think they're going to take a quarterback at this point, or at least they appear to make themselves think Pittsburgh's got a guy that they want. Pittsburgh wants to jump the Saints. This is a perfect scenario where we drop 2 spots. They get a quarterback of their choice. Now, I can't force trades here. I wish I could. I don't even know how to make a trade right now to do it. But if you see Pittsburgh wanting to get up there, we pick up an extra second-round pick, maybe an extra future first, or who knows. Pittsburgh really wants to make sure they get Pickett or Carl here. I see the Eagles trading up. There's a lot of closet shoppers at safety this offseason. Yeah, I don't see him falling either. No, I don't. Somebody's running the DSM account right now. I absolutely don't see him falling. I think there might be a scenario. We could go back up here to the top of this draft here. I could see maybe the Jets skipping him, getting a wide receiver, maybe another offensive tackle, or even Trayvon Walker going there to 4. The Giants, I think, are pretty set. They need another offensive lineman there. Maybe he falls to 8. Maybe. If he falls past, so here's how I can see it playing out. If he falls past 4, 5 he falls past because they need a lineman there. Malik Willis, I think, is a pretty much of a stone cold lock at 6 to the Panthers. Maybe the Giants consider going safety at 7. I can see them going edge. I really see the Giants wanting an edge rusher. They've had a lot of great edge rushers in the past. They've done really well in the past. They've had the Michael Strahans, the JPPs. They know how important having a great edge rusher is. So I see the Giants at one of their 2 picks taking an edge rusher. Maybe he falls to 8 with the Falcons. Maybe. Or maybe the Falcons take a quarterback, then he falls to 9. But he's not getting past 10. 10 would be the max. Maybe. But Baltimore, they just signed my man, as safety. So maybe I don't know. I'm trying to find a scenario where he falls. Washington ain't going to pass up on him. The Cardinals aren't going to pass up on him. The Texans aren't going to pass up. Hell, the Jets at 4, if they pass up on him in 4, they're not passing up on him in 14. There's literally no situation in my mind where I could see him falling to 15. But if he starts to fall, the question in my mind goes, if he starts to fall past 4, and then 5, then 6, do you try to make a trade with the Falcons at 8? Do you package 15 and 18 to move up? I think he's an elite safety. He really is. I don't know. I think the Eagles still want to make multiple picks and build multiple players in the draft, so they're not probably going to trade up for a safety. Teams just don't do that. But I still see this 18th pick is the tradable pick right here, because the Steelers, if it plays out like it did, the Steelers are going to want a quarterback. They might want to make sure that they get their guy when the Saints don't take them. The Saints might put out feelers even if they're not interested to make it seem like they do. Because GMs do that. That's why the Eagles are interviewing all these quarterbacks. Most likely they're not taking a quarterback in the first round. 99% likely not taking a quarterback in the first round. But they want people to think they might. So a team like Pittsburgh's like, yo, Eagles, I'll give you 20. I'll give you something else. What do you want? And we'll take 18 so we get the guy. I can't do forced trades here, so other mocks. So I'll just take who I would think. If they take the defensive tackle, they're going to take a wide receiver in the first round. It's Chris Olave. That's how I would see this one going. Absolutely. Signing the Honey Badger changes that. I agree. I think they sign him. I've been talking. It was always Marcus Williams, number 1, Honey Badger, number 2. Honey Badger, I thought, would stick around in free agency for a little while. I didn't think he'd be a first week type of signing because I just didn't think, first off, he's getting older. He's still a really good player. But he's kind of guy, if you look at his career, he doesn't stick around with one team for very long. He has a tendency to burn out in a locker room pretty quickly. So the longer he stuck around, the more likely he would be to be able to. You might be able to get him a 3-year deal. That really is a 2-year deal that you can get out of after 2 years, for pretty cheap. Maybe $10-12 million guaranteed, 3-year, $28 million deal. That's about what you're looking at with him. Maybe $15 million guaranteed. I don't know, something like that. But I still think he's in play, and I think he's probably going to be the option at starting safety there. And obviously Kyle Hamilton. If the Eagles thought there was any way they get Kyle Hamilton, they wouldn't be in on the Honey Badger at all. But they're in on the Honey Badger because A, they're not going to draft the safety in the first round. B, he's not going to fall to them in the first round. C, they're not going to trade up to get him in the first round. Look, I get what Swagman says, that safeties aren't valued like other positions early in first round drafts of NFL drafts anymore. But on the flip side of the equation, a talent like Kyle Hamilton's not going to slip outside the top 10. He's just not. So the rest of the draft played out. Now look at this. This is crazy. The Eagles are 51 now in this mock draft. I just want to go over some of these late first round picks. I want to see how this, actually Kenny Pickett went, and that's their guy. They went wide receiver, Drake London. This is an awful mock computer draft here. The computer, the Steelers aren't taking a quarterback there. They would take the next best quarterback on the board. Which who else took the other quarterbacks? Jaquan Brisker going 28. He's a first round guy, man. That's crazy. Sam Howell going to Detroit. Yeah, if they don't take one at 2, they could definitely take one at 32 there for sure. I could definitely Carson Strong going to Houston. I could see that happening. Matt Curl going to the Colts. I could see it. And Pittsburgh's getting shut out on the quarterback market in this draft. That's why the Pittsburgh trading with the Eagles. Hell, if they really want to press it, maybe they'll trade up to 15, and we'll end up drafting 18 and 20. Maybe. It's crazy though. But you got Penn State's, I can't say his name. We'll just call him Arnold. Their edge rusher available at 51. Devontae White. Do we go 2 defensive tackles? Probably not. You got Desmond Riddler. I don't know. Boya Mafe. He's a guy I've been following. He's been dropping down the board a little bit, but go in line again. That's what I would do there. You need more edge rushers for sure. I think I only set this up for 3 rounds, so we're just going to blow through this here real quick. Do they take a safety here? Sure, maybe another defensive tackle, maybe. At this point, I'm not even concerned. at this point. I was really just focused on the early short. I don't even care. I don't even care about that. I don't even know why I finished the draft here. We're gonna restart this draft here because I do want to look at trying to select all just round one. I want to try to find a way to just go through this mock draft here and find a way to see how far I can see this falling. So let's draft. I might throw some trades in here that are my trades. Not, it might say Detroit, but it's not Detroit really picking there, just because I want you to see what I'm thinking here. So one, I still think Aiden Hutchinson. I don't think it's a 110% done deal yet, but in my mind, Aiden Hutchinson will be the number one guy taken. I think it's edge rusher. I think in the league circles has kind of become more important than that left tackle. You see the Bosas of the world, the Watts of the world. Teams are loading up on these stud edge rushers that just put pressure on the quarterback every day. And I think that's almost become, you saw it with Chase Young going 2 overall to Washington a few years back. Edge rusher, it's not even defensive end. It's the term edge rusher now. And I think league circles, GMs have seen that become more important to build and anchor your franchise going forward than the offensive tackle. So then you get to Detroit. They drafted Sewell last year, so they're not going to take another offensive tackle. So they probably go Kayvon Thibodeau here. Again, that importance of the defensive tackle. But I see a small sneaky scenario. If they didn't have that 32nd pick in the end of the first round, that they would maybe take Malik Willis. But no, they go Kevin Thibodeau. Houston, they don't get the 2 top guys. They're going to get the offensive tackle to anchor their line. Then we get to the Jets and what the Jets do. I just don't see a scenario where the Jets don't take Kyle Hamilton. The only scenario, does a team like, say, the Falcons? They need a quarterback of the future. Do the Falcons try to jump up and jump Carolina here? Do they say, the Falcons say, hey, we'll take 8? I don't even know what other picks they got. 8, 43, 58, 7. They got a lot of 41, 43. Do they try to trade some first-round picks and of the future? And they say, we want that? I could see a scenario. I could totally see a scenario where the Falcons or even the Seahawks jump up. So we're taking Malik Willis here at 4. That's not the Jets taking that pick there. We'll say Atlanta takes Malik Willis at 4, and that leaves the Jets at 8 there, and they get other stuff. Then we know the Giants, they're going to take Trayvon Walker because they need that edge. They need that edge guy. So now you're at Carolina. Now they lost out on their first quarterback. All right, so they're going to go with Kenny Pickett, the next best quarterback. They are taking a quarterback at 6, no matter what. The Giants on the clock again at 7. They're going to take the offensive lineman. They get their edge rusher, and they get their offensive lineman. Now this is the Jets here at 8. They trade it back to 8. Not the Falcons. They trade it back. Kyle Hamilton's not falling any further than that. They're just going to – it's just not the way it's going to play out. Then you got Seattle. Maybe they start rebuilding their defensive line. Maybe they go with the best quarterback in the draft, Sauce Gardner. They need to rebuild that offensive line too. Do they go there? I'm going to go offensive lineman for Seattle. Start the foundational piece. Then the Jets are on the board again. They're going to get the cornerback there for sure. Washington, get the best defensive tackle in the draft to pair with Chase Young. Work on that defense there even more. Make it even more stout. You get Minnesota on the board. Do we want to get Kirk Cousins another offensive weapon? No. Do we want to draft the edge rusher there? I think they want to draft the edge rusher there. Houston at 13. They're not going to get a wide receiver. They don't have a quarterback to throw to them. Do they take a quarterback? Probably not. Probably too soon for that. Do they go Stingley, work on their defense there? Do they get George Kalafdis? You go get an edge rusher. When you're struggling, you build foundation. You get an edge rusher. Baltimore, they're not going to need a safety. They need another wide receiver there. They're going to take the best wide receiver on the board, Garrett Wilson. And that puts the Eagles on the board. I did not get us Kyle Hamilton, but I just found a scenario where Derek Stingley is on the board still. Jameis Williams. Jameis Williams is a guy that I want. Look at our left tackle. You can find a good blocker to grow and mold, edge rusher. You just don't find a mold. You got it. Yeah, I agree with you on it, 100%. And Casey, I'm just seeing this. I was on another screen, so I didn't see it. If you're still looking, this is my fear here. If you go back to this draft, a guy that's been falling down boards. I had him go pretty early here. Where did I have? Actually, not that early. I had him go 13th to Houston because again, they had their T.J. Watt or their J.J. Watt. They know the importance of that edge rusher. I fear that George Karlaftis is going to fall to the Eagles at 15, and he's a Howie pick. He's a guy that doesn't have flashy numbers. He's just got a high motor guy that's got potential, and I don't want him falling to the Eagles. So I almost kind of purposely mocked him to go there before the Eagles because I don't want to have to pick him. But Jameis Williams goes to them at 15. Then you got the Saints. They go cornerback, and then Chargers, they get another lineman to protect, and then Matt Corral. Oh, no, we're up here. No, so we're not going Corral here. Maybe we go Devin Lloyd the way this plays out. Maybe they get a guard. I don't know. Then I see Matt Corral going to Chicago there. Look, the NFL mock drafts are fun. They are what they are. But the one thing we don't realize is what teams really think of these players. They value certain positions, quarterback and edge rusher. You know, how did I just mock this? How many quarterbacks did I just have go in the top 20? One. I had him there. One. Two. I had three guys go in the top 20. In a mock draft, in a draft class that's considered really weak at quarterback, and you still got three of them going in the top 20. And I think it plays out that way. You're going to see the edge guys go off the board like that. The defensive tackles go off the board like that, and you're going to see the quarterbacks go off the board. But we're going to run more. I'm trying to find a really good draft expert to come on and really go through the step-by-step right up to the Eagles pick at 15. But we're playing that by ear. I don't see Kyle. The whole point of this mock draft was to talk about how I do not see Kyle Hamilton dropping to 15 for the Eagles. And I tried so many different scenarios there to find a way. And it's just not going to happen. But on the flip side, you know, I think there's a lot of options for how he's still in play. I still think Pittsburgh, whether it's 18 they move up to or 15, the way that just mocked out, they might need to move up to 15. Would you guys be okay with Howie Roseman trading that 15th pick for 20 and getting more draft capital? I would. Maybe you do a pre-draft trade with Pittsburgh. You give them that 15th pick, and then we use the assets we get to move from 20, back up to 10 or 11. Maybe you get Sauce Gardner or Jermaine Johnson or something like that. I don't know. Pick 15 and 18, interesting parent. I don't see us taking both of those. So I'm still on board with Pittsburgh, man. Pittsburgh's gonna get a quarterback. Pittsburgh, Carolina, maybe Atlanta, Detroit. Maybe quarterbacks start to fall off the board, and Detroit gets scared that they can't get somebody at 32. There's going to be some serious trading going on. I love doing the mock drafts. I love having fun with it. I just have fun with the first round, though, because I'm no college expert. Dude, when I start running mock drafts and I'm looking at the 4th round and 5th round of the board, like, who the hell are these guys? I have no idea who these guys are. So, yeah, that's not my specialty right there. And they're not the building blocks that are going to start on week 1. So you're looking at it. There's an interesting situation right there, having 15 and 18, because, like I said, Pittsburgh's an interesting trade candidate in my mind. Atlanta, there's a lot of options there. The teams that need quarterbacks, and look, these guys, Riddler, Howe, Carson Strong, they're all impressive in their pro days and all impressive in their private workouts, and stuff like that. Teams are going to take chances. It's a quarterback league. It's a quarterback-driven league. It's quarterback and its edge. That's what people want to build their foundations around. So that's why it's going to happen. So anyway, that was fun mock drafting. That one, I had a lot of fun doing that. This has been a great episode of Trending in the AM right here on DSM Media. Like I said, live every day, Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. Tomorrow's show. What is today? Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, tomorrow's show may be live. It may be pre-recorded. I will make an announcement later today on Twitter, whether we're having a great, NBA expert on the show. Still trying to work out the details. He just had a newborn baby, so I know he's trying to, fit me in here for the playoffs, but also, handle that new baby stuff and the new dad stuff there. So we'll stay tuned at Beard of Knowledge right here at Beard of Knowledge. My Twitter. I'm going to do the Mark Point. Follow me up in Beard of Knowledge. Sometime later this afternoon, I'll get a confirmation on that and that guest for tomorrow's show. But go Phillies, 1:00 game. Hopefully they win. I don't know if they win. I wouldn't take the -1.5. Well, I wouldn't take the money 1.5 or the money line on the Phillies tonight, but I would take the over 8.5 runs. I know it's Max Scherzer. I know it's Max Scherzer, and I know it's Aaron Nola, but I see it being a 9-7 game today. So Go Phillies. Ring the bell. Everybody have a great Wednesday. It's a beautiful day. Dude, if everybody shows up for work today, which I'm not sure, as my girl, Paulina, who runs the store when I leave work early, she was in Puerto Rico for the weekend and her flight got canceled and she's still there because of $4,000 flights and that's all she could find. So hopefully she's home this afternoon and into work tonight. And if she does, it's going to be so nice. You're going to see some pictures tonight on Twitter because it's going to be the first time I'm able to take the top off my Jeep since I bought my Jeep back in October. I haven't had a day where I could fully push the top off of the Jeep. Dude, I'm super excited. So it's going to be a beautiful day. Everybody enjoy the 78, 80-degree weather we're going to have today. Man, open the windows up. Enjoy the fresh air. Be well, and have a great day. And, Phillies in 5, ring the bell, all of the above, guys. Have a good day.